This is Edimax's new dual band AC1200 router. As you can see here, this is the router itself sitting on top of the box. There's a network cable. It comes with a CD, quick installation guide, and some mounting hardware, which is basically 2 screws and 2 anchor mounts for the wall. The router's has 2 antennas on the back that are adjustable. Let's see here if I can get this where you can see the 4 LAN ports, the WAN port, reset button, the off-on switch, and the power switch or power port there. Let me try to get this here to where you can see the front display has the power lights for the 2.4 gigahertz signal, 5 gigahertz signal, the LAN lights and the WAN lights to show that that's connected on here. In my case, I'm primarily using this as a Wi-Fi range extender as opposed to being a primary wireless router. I have a high-end Netgear for that, but I did try it as its own router on its own, and the range and speed were pretty decent for the for what you pay for. This router by no means has all the bells and whistles that you pay for in the more expensive routers, but for the price range that it's in, it's actually a pretty decent range in terms of pretty decent router in terms of range and speed. A lot of you see some of the complaints about firmware issues. Well, unfortunately, that's symptomatic of most routers these days. I've had issues with my Netgear. It's taken me 8 to 9 months since I originally purchased to get the firmware bugs to the point to where it actually is manageable for what I'm using it for. So, and my previous Linksys router was the same thing. So it's something that's endemic to all electronics. It seems like these days, routers especially these new AC routers, which is relatively new technology. I currently am using firmware version 2.12, which is the latest this company has out, and it seems like a lot of the bugs that people are complaining about have been ironed out. So I didn't experience that before that, because first thing I always do is make sure I get the firmware updated before I do anything else with the router. Setup was pretty easy in terms of both as a router and easy to change it over to a Wi-Fi extender. It was very easy to do that. Overall, though, I think this is a pretty good router for a budget router for the price. I mean, it's $75 currently, I think. It's a good deal. You get pretty decent range and speed. The setup's fairly painless. And the latest firmware seems to have worked out a lot of the issues. Again, it's not going to match your high-end $200+ routers, but I mean, it does a pretty good job for what it is. I give it 4.5 stars.